These movements are called prehab versus rehab. And this means we're just going to be moving in our joints in a very therapeutic way. So if there's anything that bothers you, those of us with shoulder replacements, hip replacements, knee replacements, some of the movements you may need to take a little smaller than I am. Maybe there's some movements you might want to skip. All of that is okay. Maybe try making movements smaller, and then if it still doesn't suit your body, skip. It's all right, just sit it out. Next thing comes around, you can join back in. But everything is meant to feel good in our bodies. So if you feel a little twinge that doesn't feel so good, listen and honor that. Please don't let the ego override the body, right? And the breath really is that mediator between the mind and the body. So we always start with the breath. When the breath picks up, sometimes if we're not being physically active, sometimes that is a signal that the body is protecting itself. So if you're doing something and your breath picks up, notice that, okay? And just back off a little bit. So connect with the breath. Let's sit on our sit bones. Maybe feel yourself sink just a little bit deeper into the chair. You can take your chins back ever so slightly. We want to watch that head jutting forward, shoulders back comfortably, elbows rest right underneath those shoulders. Then close your eyes when you're ready, please, so that you can tune inward. Welcome yourself to your practice. Let's separate ourselves from everything else going on. If your phone is on, turn it off. Give yourself this hour just to focus on yourself. Everything else can wait. Unless it is a medical emergency, nobody needs you for this next hour, right? So just tune inward, eyes closed. Begin to extend your inhales and your exhales. Most of us, when we're not paying attention to our breath, take a more shallow chest breath. This causes fatigue, it can cause anxiety, and it overstresses the neck and shoulder muscles and causes tension. So we want to focus on that longer inhale, really filling up our bodies with energy. Feel like you're filling up the tank. And then when we exhale, make sure you're completely exhaling out. There's carbon dioxide that needs to be released from the body. Let's get it all out. So let's focus on that. Let's breathe in for the count of 4. So count to yourself in, and then breathe out for 4. Now, if that felt comfortable and you can lengthen that to a count of 5 or 6, try that. Again, inhaling nice and long. And then with the eyes closed, travel inward with the breath so that you can notice where the breath is. Send the breath to the lowest lobes of the lungs, down to the lower ribs. Then you're using the diaphragm and you're becoming a diaphragmatic breather. And this is taking us out of the chest where we only use 1/3 of our lung capacity, all the way down to the lower lobes. We're using more like 100% of your lung capacity. And this is where the air sacs are. This is where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. So you want to take that breath as low as possible. And then the diaphragm begins to lower each time we inhale. So the belly will rise. You'll feel that. And then exhale, pull the belly in and up. So with every exhale, the diaphragm then is going to press on the lungs and on the heart and force that air back out. So we allow, with our eyes closed, the mind to ride the wave of the breath. So very important. And allow yourself to begin to sink into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. Nice. So today we're going to continue with this deep breathing so that we can use our prehab movements to just prevent injury in our bodies, which is so important, and create more flexibility and more fluidity in our movements. Mostly as adults, we move very linearly, right? We women especially, everything's close to the body. We don't make big gestures as much as when we're children. Think about how a little kid on the playground plays versus how you conduct yourself throughout the day. The movements are drastically different. And as we age, the less we move and the more linear we are, the more likely we are to injure ourselves because we're not creating fluid and flexibility, right? So all this is important. We'll be incorporating the muscles, the tendons, the fascia in a totally different way today than we normally do. Neurologically, your body is going to love this type of a practice. And really, like I said, it's like we played organically as children on the playground when we were younger. So let's start warming up first. We're going to do a little stretch series, and what this will do, let's scoot forward, is activate energy in our bodies, and it will create a nice sense of well-being for the rest of our practice. So scooting forward in our goddess position, hands on our knees, let's go ahead and take the seated cat-cow. So hands slide to the hips, we'll pull those elbows back, back arching, strengthening the muscles that line the spine. And then let's slide the hands to the kneecaps. Hang on there, tuck that tail and tuck the chin. Make the spine into a C curve. And then inhale, come forward, chest pulls forward, eye gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding into flexion. And inhale, pulling forward into extension. We need both every day. We want to juxtapose this stretch with the strength. The spine, the whole body really needs both flexibility and strength. And when they get both, it creates a very happy body. Good. One more time. Cat-cows, you can do them all throughout the day. You'll never do too many of them. Well done. All right, now we're going to take our feet back to center, back to mountain position. Feel the toes on the floor, the toe ball mound and the heel, and your knees directly over your ankles. Arms out to a T. We're going to take our hands to our shoulders. Relax your shoulders, and we're going to inhale to the right, exhale to the left. Inhale, exhale. So we're going to keep the mouth closed and breathe in and out of the nose, or keep the mouth closed. It's almost like you're panting, but the mouth is closed. So you can hear that breath coming in and out of the nose. Now, if it makes you dizzy to turn your head, keep your head straight on. If you have vertigo, keep your head straight. But if it doesn't bother you, let your head follow your shoulders. And you can go faster than I am, you can go slower than I am. But warming up the spine in rotation feels really nice and is really effective in opening up more movement along the spine. So inhale, exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Back to center. Shoulder shrugs up and down. Good. So shrug it up, get really tense, and then relax it down. Inhale, exhale. You might start to feel a little warmer up there in the neck and shoulders. That's because we're creating a bit of circulation in the shoulder joint, which is always good, especially if you feel like you're developing a bit of arthritis there. We want the blood flow. Good job. Now shoulder roll up, back, and around. You can even take those elbows with you. Palms float in the direction of the shoulder. All of this is to warm up the body, prepare for practice. Good. Activate a little bit of energy. Nice. Now we're going to relax our hands to our lap and take a look over the right shoulder, back through center, and look to the left. So we've warmed the shoulders up a little bit. Now we want to work in the cervical spine. Make sure that it's able to rotate right and left. These teeny tiny cervical discs need the rotation just as much as the rest of the spine does. Good job. Now we'll pause and center and stretch those muscles alongside the neck. So right ear to the shoulder, back through center, left ear over. Take it nice and easy, using the weight of the head and gravity to release stiffness along the side and kind of the back of the neck there, down into the shoulders. Make sure you're taking those longer exhales. That will help you go deeper into the stretch. Nice. Whew. One more to each side. Tick tock. All right, and the best one of all, a big hug. So we're going to take our arms out nice and wide and then hug one arm on top of the other. Hold onto the shoulders, round the back, tuck the tail, tuck the chin. Inhale, open back up again, nice and wide. Exhale, crisscross, opposite arm over. Oh, good job. Back to center. Let's just stomp those feet a little bit. Good job. And roll those shoulders. Okay, let's go ahead and get some water. Make sure that you're staying hydrated. And staying hydrated all throughout class, so important. Okie doke. So what we're doing today is soma kinetics. Soma is a word that stands for body, and kinetics means movement, so body movements. And these movements, again, like I said, are prehab movements, so we don't end up in rehab. And they are very healing to our bodies. What these movements are a mixture of modalities. We're mixing movements from yoga, Pilates, and there is a gentleman named Feldenkrais that has a whole host of very therapeutic movements, a little bit of what he does. Tai Chi, Qigong, and Feldenkrais, so all of them together. So we're going to put all of these into one practice in a very short period of time, basically, with all of that we've got, all that information. And again, the result is flexibility and fluidity. All right, the first one is we're going to take our knee to our chest. So round in, it's not new, we do this a lot, but I just want us to warm up the back just slightly. Good, and then take the other knee up, stretch. Excellent. All right, now hands, arms like little kickstand. The left knee, we're going to circle it around. We're not using hands. Oftentimes we do. So if you need to, you can hold on to that femur bone, that thigh bone. But if possible, we're going to try to use our core muscles, our quadriceps, our inner and outer thighs, to circle the hip around in its socket. So I'm using my arms like kickstands to keep my spine tall. No roundedness. Good. Now reverse and take it around the opposite way, engaging the core as much as we can. Whew, good job. Now we're going to take it to the right leg. Nice circular motion. And you can lift that foot up a lot or a little. All of this range of motion is within your control. You choose how large circle. We want to try to stay in as pain-free range of motion as possible with each movement. Good job. So discern between muscle engagement being challenging and pain, right? There's a difference between the two. Good. Whew. It gets heavy. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now the next one we're going to do is a circle around on the floor. So this one's called polish the floor. You can hold on to the back of your chair if you have a chair back, and you're going to circle your feet around. Imagine like finger paint, but you've got foot paint and you're painting a circle on the floor with your feet. This is going to work the core and the quads and into the hips. So you're just polishing that floor, big circular motion. 3, 2, and 1, and then reverse. Imagine with your foot paint, you're making the face of a clock. You're just making that circle. Good, around and around the clock. Woo, keep breathing, keep sitting tall. Nice, polish there. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now we want to pause in between movements to let the body kind of seep in the work we've done. So 3 cleansing breaths means a breath in through your nose and sigh out of your mouth. 2 more. And 1 more. Nice. Okay, now we're going to sit at the edge of the chair. We're going to let the gravity take the right knee down to the middle of the mat. So we're stretching. Good. Now, arms overhead. So you're going to reach through the left arm, and then you're going to reach through the right arm. So up to the ceiling with the fingers, down toward the floor with the knee. Good job. So big stretch there. Excellent work. And that kind of helps you balance too, to have that opposite arm, and just flow this several times, side to side. It's a little balance work, but it's nice mobility for the hip and into the back. Nice. And then we get that big stretch toward the ceiling. Excellent. 2 and 1. Beautiful. Come back to center. 3 cleansing breaths in and out of the nose. All right. 1 more. Okay, now we're going to take both of our legs, so feet and knees touching. We're going to take those legs off to the left a little bit. Okay, this right leg is going to be circling around by itself. So we're going to circle around in front of us in a little bit different movement than we were doing before, because we're crossing the body, the midline of the body, and taking it out externally. Good. Just create that cycling motion. You got it. Nice. Now, I want you to pretend that you're riding a bike. So you're going to kick out, kind of riding that bike backwards. Good. Now, reverse that. You're going to go out to the side, kick it, kick. So you're kicking toward that left knee, and the leg feels heavy. That's strengthening that quadricep muscle. That's weak. That keeps us independent. Good job. Back to center. Take the feet and the legs to the right. You're going to take the leg out and around a couple times just to get that circular motion. And then when you feel ready, when you lift the leg, kick out, like you're riding that bicycle backwards. Now we're working in the knee, the hinge joint of the knee and the hip, ball and socket hip. Good, and then reverse. When you, just like you're riding a bicycle, kick that out there. Right when you come to the right knee, kick out, around and kick. Woo, good job. And the heart rate might come up a little bit because you're working the quadricep. It always takes more blood and oxygen, so the heart picks up. 1 more. Excellent job. Stay in the middle. Ooh, breathe. Inhale and exhale. Nice. All right. 1 more big breath. Excellent work. Okay. This time we're going to just take our left leg up and out and down. Up, in, and down. So we're lifting, sort of tapping, working with the internal and external rotators of that hip, which requires the inner and outer thigh muscles to work, along with that quadricep muscle into the glute. Good job. 2 more, lift, out, tap, lift up, bring it back in. You got it. Tap out. So healthy for the hip. We'll go to the right side now, tap it out there, and bring it back in. Nice hip opener. Up, out, and down, up, back, in. So kind of like dancing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good job. Try to stay tall in your spine. Keep the breath flowing. Just 2 more on this side. Good, last one here. Excellent job. Pause in the center, cleansing breath. Deep breath in, exhale out. Good, deep breath, exhale. Well done. Now we're going to take our left ankle in front of the right, nice, or up here at the thigh. So just giving ourselves an opportunity to stretch after using those hip muscles. So coming forward, get a nice stretch here, breathe. Excellent job. Coming all the way up, and for those of you who have the range of motion, just turning that hip in its socket. So rolling that back and forth, back and forth. Good work. And you can also do the same range of motion with the left ankle in front of the right. And then we'll crisscross, hold on, and take a twist to the back of the chair. And then come back through center and switch sides. So you're either taking your right ankle in front of the left or right ankle on top of the thigh. With the right foot flexed, shoulders back, we'll hinge forward and notice a stretching sensation on the side of the hip. The more relaxed muscles are when we stretch them, the less likely they are to tear and less likely we are to injure ourselves. So that's why we want to stretch here. Also, we have the whole sciatica nerve that we want to have released. And then coming up and just range of motion like this, rolling that hip in its socket, remember, releases that synovial fluid. So the cartilage, the bones of the hip joint are nourished and cleansed, right? So the more we cleanse them, the more lubrication is in there, the more fluidly they move, the less likely we are to injure ourselves. It's just a healthier hip joint. We want to release that fluid as much as we can. We don't want dehydrated hips and tight muscles. And oftentimes when we have replacements of joints, there's a bunch of tightness around it. So just keep moving it as best you can. Let's turn and look over that right shoulder, hugging that knee in as best you can. Just get that nice stretch deep in that glute. Beautiful. Come back through center. Let's have some water because that synovial fluid, remember, comes from the water you drink. Perfect. Well done. Okay, next one. We're going to sit at the edge of our chair. Oh, okay, so arms beside of us now. We're going to tick-tock side to side, working a little bit more into flexibility of our spine with our lateral flexion, but also at the same time strengthening the muscles of the spine, but we're going to strengthen the side waist muscles. So we're going to take our stretches to the side, tick-tock. Now, only go in a comfortable range of motion. You might have one side you feel really great lowering on, and the other side feels tight and it's telling you not to go as low. That's okay. If there's one side you need to go more shallowly, please listen. Sometimes it just takes a time or two for it to warm up, and other times that's a signal protecting you, so don't go so low. Good job. Side to side. All right. Now in the front, we're going to go 1, 2, yes, 3, 4. Hands beside. We'll go 4, 3, 2, 1 in front for 4. Yes, 3. Use those tummy muscles. 2, 1 to the side. 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1, and in the front. 4. We're feeling that, right? 3, 2, 1. The last time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job in 4. Right here. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to take our left hand behind that ear and crisscross, lifting that knee. So we're lifting through the hip and rotating through the spine. Exhale each time. You're in control of how high that foot comes up, but we exhale each time we twist toward that leg. Good. One more. And then right hand behind the ear, we're going to crisscross toward that left leg. using those tummy muscles. Lift, strengthening that hip flexor. Good, rotating the spine on the other side. 4, exhale as you twist. 3, nice. 2, and 1, good job. Come back to center, and you've got those 3 cleansing breaths again. Well, all right, we did a lot for the lower body. We're gonna go into the upper body movements. So if we have rotator cuff issues, we're gonna be very careful with our range of motion. It's gonna be a cactus arm, so let's sit tall, take our arms overhead, find that comfortable cactus for you. Ideally, elbows in line with shoulders, but if you need to lower that a little bit, feel free. Now, we're gonna take our right palm. It's going to float down. You're gonna look over that right shoulder, and then as it comes up, we're gonna look neutral. Left palm comes down, fingertips to the floor. We're gonna look to the left. We'll come back to neutral, looking right, fingertips to the floor. Try to keep that elbow in line with the shoulder as the fingertips lower. Can be a little challenging, but we'll do our best. Good job. Inhale, center. Exhale and lower. This is rotation of that shoulder now. We did a lot for the hip. Hips and shoulders are both ball and socket joints, and they can rotate in all kinds of different directions. Nice. Oh, it's challenging though to keep that arm up there, right? The shoulder starts to fatigue. We're going to take it just one more time to the right. Good job. And one more time to the left. Nicely done. Take those arms and relax them. Well done. Now we're going to add this into our windshield wiper. So we're going to come forward again with these legs. Now before we were reaching up toward the ceiling, this time we're going to use the cactus we were just doing. So let's come back to the cactus. When the right knee goes to the right, we're going to take our left arm down. We're going to come back through center and take it to the opposite side. Good. So right hand floats down, left hand up. Now to add on, if you can look over the left shoulder as the body turns right and vice versa, we're going to add in a little bit of brain work here as well. And you're working so many joints, shoulders, elbows, neck, hips, knees. Nice. Everything flowing fluidly, hopefully. One more time, finish it off wherever you're headed and come back to center. 3 deep cleansing breaths. Well done. That is a big multi-directional movement. All right. Now, next one, we're going to imagine that we're sitting directly under an orange tree. Take your cleansing breaths here. Whew. And we always say the best oranges are at the tip top of the tree. So we're going to keep our sit bones nicely rooted. Arms are going to come overhead, and we're going to lift one arm and then the other. Lift and lift. So you're basically taking your shoulder up out of its socket and putting it back in. And I want you to feel your side waist muscles. As you lift that arm, do you feel these muscles on the side of you engage, right? That's what we want. Sometimes we forget we have muscles on the sides of us, but we do. You don't have to pull your elbow down. I just want you to reach up there. This is more shoulder than it is elbow. So the elbow can bend a little bit, but we're not taking the hand to the shoulder like we can do sometimes when we're picking fruit. Good. Just lift up. Reach for the ceiling. Really reach. And when you reach, try to straighten that elbow. Yes, you got it. One more to each side. Get all those oranges. Nice. Relax and shoulder roll. Oh, good work. Now this time, we're going to take our arms just straight out in front of us. So without bending those elbows, you're just going to go forward and back. So pick that fruit and pull it in. Pick the fruit and pull it in, but no bending of the elbow. It stays perfectly straight. Good job. Palms face in. This is that shoulder blade retraction we do. That is incredibly healthy for the shoulder blade. because you're strengthening the muscles around it while you're lubricating the shoulder blade itself. It is not adhered. It's meant to glide along the rib cage. So let's go. 3, you got this. 2, whoo, and 1. So subtle, but so effective. Cleansing breaths here. All right, another deep breath in. Exhale out. Okay, now this time we're going to take our right hand, reach for the left elbow, left hand reaches for the right. All right, we're going to try to keep our elbows in line with our shoulders. We'll take our elbows to the left as our head turns to the right, and then both come to center and take the elbows right and head turns left. So side to side. Now here's what I want you to monitor, making sure that the elbows do not lower towards your chest, please. Try to relax your shoulders. If you feel them creeping up toward the ears, think about taking your shoulder blades to your hip pockets. Yeah, so you're not hiking those shoulders up into the ears. We want to create space between shoulder and ear. Excellent. So this is great for shoulder and neck mobility. Moving one direction and the other the opposite direction, so healthy for us. Good job. Okay, relax in the middle. Just relax those arms. Breathe your 3 cleansing breaths. Excellent. All right, we're not quite done with those arms yet. All right, opposite arm, hand to the elbow. Now this time we're going to turn our head and our arms in the same direction. In the same direction. And notice your range of motion in your arms probably is a little greater when the head follows the arms versus when it's going the opposite direction. You might start to feel a really nice stretch along the shoulder and the back, the upper back. Good. Just moving these joints to keep them fluid, flexible, lubricated, strong. Nice. Moving that neck around. All of this is like WD-40 on the joints, guys, like the Tin Man with the oil can. Good work. Working those shoulder muscles as well. Nice. And relax. Shake it out. Shake out those arms. 3 cleansing breaths. Still working on those arms. Okay, here we go. Back to the arms. We're going to make a box, right? You're making a box with your arms. So you're going to take those arms overhead. There we go. And then back to shoulders height. So lifting and lowering. There, you got it. You can take it all the way down if you'd like, or you can lower shoulders height. If you feel like you like that rest of lowering all the way down, feel free. If you want to work those shoulders a little more, then keep it at shoulders height. And you can go somewhere in between the two. Always when we take our arms overhead, we try not to back bend, especially in the thoracic spine, because that means you've let the shoulders have a break and you're calling on the spine to do the work. We don't want that. This is shoulder work. Nice straight spine. Good, now rest here, just rest. One more with these. This time we're going to circle around. So like we were taking the hips around in different rotations, the shoulders can go in different rotations too. Nice. Hang on to those elbows and circle out in front of you. You might feel some clicking and popping. That's okay. We're just trying to smooth through all that. We always do. We're going to pause and reverse and go up and around the opposite way. Good. You might feel those back muscles and the shoulder blade, the obliques, the side waist muscles. They're all engaging. That's good stuff. Because we get a lot of connective tissue that gets very dense in our back body, and then it limits our range of motion. So you're breaking that up. Good work. Release and relax. Have some water. 3 rounds of breath. Oh, well done. Okay, whew, how we doing? It's a lot of work to keep ourselves out of rehab, right? Okay, we're going to take our hands now, interlace them. So we were doing a lot of movement with the elbows bent. Now we're going to try with the elbows a little bit straighter. Of course, if you need to have a slight bend of the elbows, you may, but we're going to try to straighten those arms as best we can and take the straight arm up and overhead. Yeah, so try not to have a circle, try not to be here if at all possible. We're going to go as straight as we can with those arms. The fingers are interlaced and lifting just straight out in front of us. It's a different range of motion than when the elbows are bent. You're probably feeling that a little bit differently, right, than when elbows were bent. Good, and then just pause here. Next, we'll be taking the arms in circles, but instead of bent elbows, we're gonna have a straight arm. Good, up and around. You're drawing a circle out in front of you. Beautiful work. Think about all the lubrication, all the synovial fluid that's being released into that shoulder joint. You're just bathing that shoulder joint with fluid. Nutrient-rich fluid. Loves it. Now pause and go the other way. You have happy shoulders, but also that back body is working. Those muscles in the back are very much engaged right now. And we need them strong, remember, so we stand upright and we're not tilting our heads forward, right? Good. And one more time around. You're doing awesome. Okay, shake that out. Wow, that's a lot of work. Whoa, so just relax there, let's get some water. And remember, just as adults, generally we move in that very linear way. And what we do in this Sonoma kinetic type workout is we move in a multi-directional way like we did as children. So we've been incorporating the muscles and the tendons in a fashion, a totally different way than we normally do in chair yoga, but it's just so good for us. All right. Now we're gonna work on the side body, the front of the chest. So we're gonna take our legs off to the side and we'll work with our left arm first. So oftentimes when we sit forward, we know this, what happens is this pec minor muscle right here in front of the shoulder gets so tight, and if we are habitually rounding forward, it gets locked and stuck that way and gets super tight. So what we want to do is open that up, because think about your daily movements, driving, putting on your clothes, eating, reading, everything basically is forward rounding. So we have to be very intentional about opening ourselves back up so that we're not locked in this position, okay? So sitting off to the side a little bit, your left arm, we're gonna pull that to a V shape or half of a Y, however you wanna look at it, like a 45-degree angle. And then what I want you to do is pull that back until you feel a lovely stretch, nothing painful, in your front of your shoulder and even into your inner arm, and then back it off. So you're gonna stretch and release. And here you can stack your knees and your feet so everything's just side by side, and pull back, stretching the front of the chest. You wanna get into that pec minor and lengthen it back out again. And if your left knee is sort of flailing open, just use your right hand to hug it back in there. And that might give you a nice leverage to be able to open that left arm too. So you're just releasing that a bit and giving it a nice stretch. Good. Back and forward. 4 more. Good. 3. Pull it back there comfortably. 2 and 1. Nice. And just release and kind of give it a little shake out. Excellent. I'm not quite done with that left arm yet. We're going to take it in a little different circle around. So we're going to take it up and back and around. Now, we do this sometimes where we reach forward, reach for the ceiling, reach for behind you and down toward the floor. And that's what I want you to do now. So you're opening up that shoulder joint. This is a beautiful movement to prevent frozen shoulder, which women especially get after menopause. So we want to be working in that shoulder. Keep it cleansed and lubricated, strong. Good, so we don't get that frozen shoulder. All right, reverse. what you're doing is working into the tendons, the ligaments that move this ball and socket joint around in a very different way than you do during the day, right? It's like a big swim stroke. Yes, good job. All right, now we're going to sit with just our right thigh on the chair. The left hand is going to hang on anywhere, your knee or your shin or your ankle, wherever you can hold on to. You're going to hug that knee into your nose and then take that leg back. So forward and back. And if you can't hang on to it, it's okay. Just pick it up and step it back. So either pick that foot up or you can do like the walking gait if that works better for you. Nice, but this is a bit of core work here. Nice. Forward and back. Excellent. Ah, you got it. And one more. Good work. All right. Now we're going to go to the other side. So both of your feet, your knees touching. You can use your left hand just to sort of hug that knee in. The right arm will pull back and release. Back and release. So we want to comfortably stretch the pectoralis muscle there. So you're maybe at a 45-degree angle or where it feels best for you, but you're taking that arm back a couple of inches. Lower it, and notice this is an exceptional release when you do this, right? But we have to work with the breath. There's an exhale at the stretch and an inhale when we back off. Good job. Remember, that breath will let you go deeper. 3 more. 2 and 1. Nice. Just relax it. Let it shake out a little bit. Let the blood flow back to your fingers. Now we're going to create that circle around and back behind us. So I want you to reach forward, up toward the wall, back behind you, and down toward the floor. The objective is to reach forward, up and back and down as much as you possibly can. If you need to, you can bend your elbow. You could place your hand on your shoulder. Take care of yourself. But we want to let that shoulder head roll around with the arm so we open that shoulder joint. Good. Now pause and reverse. We're still reaching in all directions, but we're reversing directions. Nice. Big swim stroke. Swimming is one of the best things we can do for shoulders, and we don't even have to get in water to do it. Excellent. All right. Well done. Now we're going to take that left thigh to the chair, and remember, if you can't quite hang on to that knee, you're going to do that walking gait range of motion. If you can, we'll hang on wherever we can. Take the knee to the nose and then back. Good. So you might get a really nice stretch in that quadricep, and it's heavy, so your arm bones are getting stronger. Hang on to your chair with your left hand. Good. Keep working. Nice job. And then back to the center with 3 cleansing breaths. Whew. Let's get our water. You're doing great. Stick with that cleansing breath as you breathe in and out. Will serve you. Okay. All righty. So, water. Well done. Okay, so sitting in the chair, we're going to sit about midway of our chair, working our core muscles. So what I'd like for you to do is, well, you need to find a position in your chair that you're somewhat supported. You can bounce your feet just like this, just bouncing your feet. But here's the thing, if you can, I want you to take your arms out in front of you. So this is great core work. So much we can do in the chair to strengthen our core. We never have to get on the ground and do crunches. Just see if you can just bounce those feet on the floor with arms out. Relax those shoulders down. Good job, and breathe. We're staying here for 4, 3, good job, 2, and 1, and relax, good. Take a breath, cleansing breaths. So if you do those bounces, 20 to 30 seconds, you're really getting into those quads. Now, arms out in front of us, little circles with those shoulders. Now, a lot of us can have shoulder issues, so you're just going to be as gentle as you can. These don't have to be very large, guys. You're just rolling around in that socket again. Good. Now we're going to go around the opposite way, so reverse. But this starts to strengthen that deltoid as well as rolls that shoulder head in its socket. All right, now release. We're going to take the leg out to the side and back in, and the other one. Now let's just take the arm out with it. Good job. Side to side. And if you can turn and look at your hand, that's going to have that nice cervical movement to it. So you're turning your neck. Again, if it makes you dizzy or involves the vertigo, please skip it and keep your head forward. Nice, side to side, just little taps, opening the hip. Good. And 1, nice. Now, sitting back in the chair, we're gonna flutter kick. So we're using those flexed feet to help strengthen our quadricep muscles and our core. Sit up nice and tall and just flutter. So all these little exercises can be done just about 20 to 30 seconds. We don't have to carry on for too long, but they really do help develop that core strength. Nice. 2 and 1, good work. Go ahead and sit in your chair and take your cleansing breaths. All right. Now, we're going to take our chin to our chest and move our head in a circular motion. So we're going to go around in a circle. We can think about having a paintbrush on our chin, and we'll take and paint with the brush along the floor, up the wall, across the ceiling, down the other wall, and the floor. One more time around. We'll pause and go the other way. Take it up the wall, ceiling, opposite wall, and the floor. Here is very common to sound like you're walking on gravel or those pop rocks that kids used to have, right? Very common to hear that crunching sensation. Good work. All right, and then just come all the way back to neutral. Good work. 3 cleansing breaths again. Good, okay. And we're gonna go ahead and stand up. So come all the way up to a standing position. We're gonna use the back of the chair for support. Okay. Okay, to keep our balance, let me flip this up a little bit. Make sure you can see my head. All right, to keep our balance, we've been doing these in the past, but we're gonna go over them again. So you can use your chair, but one thing we wanna do is lift that knee, right? And turn ourselves toward the lifted knee. So what you're doing is developing the balancing muscles. Deep core muscles are balancing muscles. Outer hip muscles are balancing muscles. Inner and outer thighs. Good. Then you're just gonna take your heel and dig out in front and swim. Good. You're just doing this little swimming motion here and working the core. Nice. Working the back muscles. You just have to do this again for about 20 seconds. Nice. Now another thing we can do is add on, see if you can just tap the opposite knee as you're twisting, a slight rotation side to side, and that's going to help us engage our core and will help us with our balance. It's slow and controlled for about 20 seconds. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to see if we can lift our leg and hold it here and pulse it, pulse it, pulse it. Chairs here. You can always use the chair for support. Good. But we're just pulsing that leg. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. Good. Other side. And you've got that chair. Again, you're pulsing. Maybe that standing ankle is wobbling. That's okay. It's talking to your brain. But see, you're using those deep core muscles that we need for balance. Good. And then just use your chair. Maybe you're tapping. The more you practice, the more you improve. Good. All right. Now just prance that out just a little bit. Woo. You're doing great. Okay, let's take it side to side here. And if it helps you, you can take an arm across. But this is a movement the hips don't get. Again, we walk forwards and backwards sometimes, but very rarely are we walking sideways. So the hips kind of miss out on this movement. Good. And another thing we can do is just kick the heel toward the glute. And an arm here. You can always hold on to the chair, but you're getting into the knees now a little bit. All right, now let's kind of go back to that swimming motion, and you can take a side to side with it if you'd like. Just swim it out a little. Good. So again, this somatic movement is just kind of moving in ways that we don't normally, and gets the brain working. Good job. All right, and again, back to the side to side. Good. And then forward. You can take it forward too. Just that opposite arm swinging will help you keep your balance. Good. All right, let's go back to that knee bend, heel to the glute. That's sometimes called kickbacks. And then here we go. Little bigger movement with the feet still. This time, let's get everything moving. Shoulders, hips, you can bend your knees. Rotate through your rib cage. Doesn't that feel good? Because when we get tight connective tissue, this range of motion is very limited. You're going to open all that up. Good job. All right. Stand at the back of your chair. Breathe in and out. Shoulder roll back and around. Okay. Okay, now we're going to add on. You can hold on to this chair. We're going to turn sideways to sideways. Now we're adding on a little bit because we're taking the hands behind the head. If it's too hard to pick up your feet, you can do a toe tap in the front. Good, but see how we're turning in that rib cage side to side? Good, look at there, you're doing great. Nice. Again, about 20 seconds is very low impact core work. And then here we go, right out to the front and add that side rotation. Head stays forward if we get dizzy. All right, stand still, lift to the side. We've got the chair there if we need it. Doing great. Maybe hands out in front of us for a little balance. Good work. Here we go. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Let's take the seat of the chair toward us. We're going to stretch out a little bit. We're going to take what's called a cement truck. So you're going to have your hands on the seat of the chair. We're going to roll around in this circular motion, kind of shifting your weight from your right hand to your left hand as you just roll the rib cage around like a cement truck. So you're taking the back up toward the ceiling, off to the side, kind of like we do stir the pot seated. But now you're just rolling it around in there and pause and go around the other way. So now you're just stretching all the back and side muscles we've been using to do all that twisting. Good work. And then from here, steady everything, but walk back to your down dog with your hands on the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. If you prefer, you can flip it around. Excellent. Now you can stay here. If anybody wants to try coming forward into a plank, you can just shift yourself forward into that plank position and then go back to the downward facing dog. There you go. Bending the knees and pulling back. Beautiful. And then walking up to the chair. We're going to turn the chair around. So you've got this back of the chair to you. And finish up with our Tai Chi. So we'll take our arms up and overhead. We'll gather that energy from above and then press all the way down through you. Good. And hands by your sides. And then the opposite. So pulling up, push up toward the heavens. Nice. And then back out and around. Good. So arms up and overhead so you can gather energy. That's what Tai Chi is, moving that energy from above through you back to the earth. And that reciprocation, that's how the universe works. All the way up, good, and out and around. Nice, arms overhead. Pull it in and down, well done. And then you're gonna take your right foot out on a clock. What would that be? 2 o'clock. You're going to push forward and pull back. So that back leg straightens, heel comes off, and then the toe ball mound comes off the floor. We'll push and pull. Good. Push and pull. Now this time, push and come up and overhead like a wave. So push like the waves of the ocean. I'm inspired being at the beach. Good. Forward and back, and we'll switch sides. Let's just push and pull. For the new year, what do you need to rid yourself of, and what are you working on doing more of? Good. What do we need less of? What do we want to focus on? We'll push out the old, bring in the new, and then we'll bring in that wave of accomplishment, push out what worries us. Good job. Bringing in confidence, washing ourselves with that, pushing away self-doubt. There you go. One more time. Up and push away. Nicely done. Let's come back to the chair, everybody. Wow, we worked in such big ways. Let's just have a seat and notice how your body feels. Do you feel refreshed? Do you feel a little looser? Like you can just take on your day energized? This is our goal with yoga, is to energize ourselves but not wear ourselves out. So hopefully I didn't wear you out today. We did a lot. Super proud of you. But it's fun to move in new ways, and it's good for your brain too. So I'm very proud of you. Thanks for joining. You did great. Let's take our arms overhead and pull in gratitude for this great practice of ours, for these wonderful bodies we have, and for our lovely community. Be well. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. I'll be in person. So take good care of yourselves. Till then, bye-bye. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mindy.
You're welcome.
Happy New Year. I'm energized now.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. All right. Take care, everybody.
Great class, Mindy.
Oh,
Yeah, it sure was.
Thank you.
It was terrific.
Oh, thank you, Marita. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Glad you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye, Terry. Bye, Jan.